Hey, how's it going, guys? MrBossFTW here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be doing a breakdown of the new DLC information that Rockstar has released today, looking at some of the hidden features and secret details from not only the newswire, but the screenshots as well, and breaking down what we could be looking at when this DLC arrives on March 14th. So let's not waste any more time, and let's get it started. All right, so the first thing that was very clear from this update is this is going to be a downloaded DLC. This is something we're going to have to download onto our consoles or our PC. It is not going to be a tunables update. And in my opinion, this is good because that means Rockstar is going to be adding a bunch of new content with this. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. But the first thing with this update is it's going to be downloadable. So prep your consoles, prep your PC to get it updated if you've got slow internet or anything like that. But it is going to be an update that requires an official download to the game. Okay, the second thing I noticed is that Rockstar are adding 20 new custom stunt races built for the Rocket Voltic, Ruiner 2000, and Blazer Aqua. So two things here. Number one, they only mentioned these three vehicles, so it looks as if it's confirmed that for now, these are going to be the only ones featured, the Rocket Voltic, Ruiner 2K, and then Blazer Aqua. And also, 20 new stunt races. That sounds like it's a lot, but if you guys remember a couple weeks ago when Rockstar added the 15 new stunt races into the game, we completed all of those races in about an hour and 15 minutes. So this one only has 5 new races, so I would imagine that you could probably get these done in about an hour and 30 minutes to probably 2 hours. Now, I think those are going to be awesome, but I'm kind of worried about the longevity of these races. Are we going to do them once and say, oh, that was cool, or are we going to want to do these over and over and over again? It'll also be interesting to see if Rockstar put a delay on when the creators have the opportunity to build their own stunt races. Nothing against Rockstar, but there are so many talented people in this community that really create some awesome stuff. So I can't wait to see when they get their hands on it and what they can ultimately create here. So let's move on to the screenshot itself. This is a new screenshot of a Ruiner 2000 race called Damned. Now, I wonder why it's called Damned. Are we going to be going through the Los Santos Dam? Does it have to do with the Lost in the Dam Motorcycle Club in any way whatsoever? We can't really tell anything from that. Really, the only thing I see here is a bunch of craziness. Obviously, the first thing you're going to notice here is the tubing itself. It's black, and it's almost got this like Matrix-styled blue lines going through it. I think that is awesome. Now, one thing that's going to be really positive for YouTube videos is you're not going to see the blurriness that was with Cunning Stunts. So because the Cunning Stunts tubes had holes in them, on YouTube, it looked terrible because those tubes destroyed the bitrate and it made things look really blurry and fuzzy. I don't think you're going to have the same thing here. That is a new prop. However, I don't know if this special tubing does anything special, but if we look at this other screenshot over here, the yellow kind of booster pads, that's a new prop as well. So far we know there have been 2 confirmed new props, and I'm sure there's going to be way more that Rockstar are going to ultimately add in this update. The next thing I noticed is these all look to be default Ruiner 2000s. As you can see by the wheels up here, these look to be the stock variants of them. So it kind of raises a couple questions. Number one, are we going to be able to bring custom special vehicles like the Ruiner 2000 Rocket Voltic into these races, or will we only be able to use the default ones? However, probably the biggest thing I noticed from this is the fact that the missile slots for the Ruiner 2000s have actually been covered up. So if you use the Ruiner 2000 in passive mode, the same thing will happen where you won't be able to see the missiles and you won't be able to use them. Kind of begs the question, in these races, will we be able to use the missile and gun technology of the Ruiner 2000, or will they be completely locked off? Another thing I thought of is they might only be able to be used at a certain portion of the race. So obviously they're in tubes right now, and just like in the normal Cunning Stunts races, you can't like throw sticky bombs or use your weapons within the tubes. So maybe it's only disabled then. Maybe when they get out into the open, they might end up being able to use the weapons, but at the same rate, at that point, it would almost turn into a team deathmatch, so it wouldn't surprise me if Rockstar permanently disabled the Ruiner 2000's weapons ability for these races and put more of a focus on its jumping and its parachuting abilities. So as far as if the Ruiner 2000 or the Blazer Aqua will ever be weaponized, this is the description Rockstar gave save, they said speed through tunnels and parachute to the finish with the Ruiner 2000 and Damned. They never mentioned anything about like blasting your way to the finish or using its missile capabilities. And they also say that these races are designed with each of these vehicles' unique characteristics and abilities in mind. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on if we are going to be able to use them. I would say my gut instinct is going to be no, we're not going to be able to, just because of if you were to use like the Ruiner 2000's missile abilities, it would just turn into a giant like death match instantly. So I'd imagine Rockstar is trying to avoid that. Two other things I noticed. Number one, this lady up in the front, for whatever reason, doesn't have her lights up. I don't know if that's significant or not, but she is the only one out of the cars that does not. And then number two, look at this poor guy up here. What happened to him? Everyone else is like super close together and looks like they're being really competitive. And then this guy all the way at the top just kind of seems a little lost and out of place. I don't know what's going on with him. Hopefully he was able to catch up in this race. And then the last real thing I got from this screenshot, or at least tried to, was zoom in on the characters to see if there was anything new, like a haircut or a new beard or new clothing. All the characters in the back are a little too small and far away to really be able to tell anything. But from what I've seen so far with the characters up front, doesn't look like anything new. The guy is wearing just a simple blue and white racing suit, which we got from Cunning Stunts, and the girl is wearing a black racing suit that we got from Cunning Stunts also. Now, let's move on to the second bit of information the Rockstar talked about today, and that is the fact that also on March 14th, Legendary Motorsports is adding the classically styled Progen GP1 to its formidable roster of supercars. So it's confirmed that on day one, on March 14th, the GP1 is going to be coming into the game. However, I believe that there's going to be a bunch of other hidden vehicles packaged within this update. So they say adds to the classically styled Progen GP1. It seems as if there's going to be some other classic vehicles that come along with this update as well. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if Rockstar kind of did their traditional drip feed style where they release the original update, then a week later we get another supercar in an adversary mode. You know, another week we get another supercar, another adversary mode. I think that's exactly going to be the way things work. Rockstar mentioned 2 confirmed adversary modes. They mentioned 2 confirmed classic vehicles, the Turismo Classic and the Infernus one. So it honestly would not surprise me at all to see them be hidden within this update to be released within the coming weeks. We're really just going to have to wait and see, but knowing Rockstar and knowing how they like to stretch out updates, I can pretty much guarantee that that's exactly what's going to be happening here, which is awesome, which means we have way more to look forward to than just the GP1, some classic, pretty cool supercars as well. And speaking of the GP1, Rockstar actually showed us a brand new screenshot of what this vehicle looks like. And what's cool about this is we get some new information about this car. So number one, and probably the biggest thing, unfortunately, it doesn't look as if this vehicle is going to be a 3-seater supercar or is going to have the driver seated in the center. As you can clearly see here, the steering wheel and the driver's side is on the left, which is going to make it a traditional 2-seater supercar. So unfortunately, my dreams were kind of crushed there, but nonetheless, I still think that is going to be pretty awesome. Another thing I noticed about the interior too, it looks as if it's going to be colorized. Number one, it's a unique looking interior. It looks absolutely beautiful, but you can see the orange stitching and stripes that run along the seats. Well, if we actually compare that to the first screenshot, if you look very closely, you'll notice that there's blue stitching that can be seen along the top column of the steering wheel. So what this indicates to me is that there's going to be a trim color that can be applied to the GP1, thus allowing us to change the interior color too, to either match it to the exterior or do a nice accent color. Now, in addition to that, you also might notice the doors, rather obviously. Those are some awesome butterfly style doors. That is so cool. Very reminiscent of the real life McLaren F1. So that is going to be so awesome. We get a new look at that feature right there. Some other differences that I noticed as well, another option for the hood and the hood pins too. You can see this one has quite a few more tinier vents as compared to the one giant vent that we saw in the other screenshot too, which is also kind of nice. You can tell there are upgrades to the bumper as well. This one has way less carbon fiber. It also looks as if it has the tow hook in a different position. You can see instead of this one being on the grill, it's kind of off to the left there and it's kind of dangling a little bit. So that is actually pretty cool. And you can also see that the canards have been removed as well. I'm sure that's one of the bumper options. You can either add them or take them away. just like you could on the Nero and the Nero Custom. Something else I also noticed was the skirts. This one takes after the primary color, whereas the one we saw on the first screenshot was a carbon fiber skirt, so that's actually pretty awesome. And we can also see a different spoiler on there. That spoiler looks very reminiscent to the one that can be applied on the Vaca, so I am very, very excited to see the full potential and customization of this car, but just note right there that that is once again another brand new spoiler. However, one thing I'm now very interested and curious about is the rear of this car. It almost makes me think there's something wrong with it, because in the two screenshots Rockstar have shown off, they haven't showed us the backside of this car at all. So it kind of makes me wonder what could possibly be going on with the backside here. Also, a lot of people are talking about those wheels. Are they new? No, they are not. They are Dash VIP high-end wheels, so those are not new right there. Once again, Rockstar is hiding the stock wheels of this car from us, which is kind of unfortunate because I'm sure they're pretty awesome if they're modeled after the kind of real-life McLaren F1 cars. And then last but not least, a lot of people have been asking me, is this going to be a Benny's vehicle? And my answer to this is no. Rockstar clearly says it's being added to the Legendary Motorsports site, which to me would eliminate the fact that this could be a Benny's car, because like the Nero and the Itali GTB and the Spectre, they're not found on Legendary Motorsports. They're only found on Benny's. So to me, this kind of indicates that it's not going to be a Benny's ride and is only going to be able to be customized at the Los Santos custom shop. And then finally, last but not least, Rockstar announced that there's going to be some online bonuses kicking in this weekend. Now, I'm making this video on Thursday afternoon. I would imagine that these bonuses will start up either Friday or Saturday morning, and there's a couple things in here that are interesting to me. They said, take advantage of CEO bonuses all weekend long. Now, they don't really mention what those CEO bonuses are outside of some of the other things we touched on in my previous video, like the SecuroServe prices and associates getting double GTA money as a salary bump this weekend. It'll be very interesting to see if they give us 2 times money or at least 25% more cash on CEO crates or vehicle sourcing and selling. When that does happen, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. And we're also going to be doing some fun live streams this week and getting ourselves prepped for this update. But anyways, that's all the information that I have for you guys in this video today, breaking down some of the more secret details and hidden features that you didn't know about the upcoming Cunning Stunt Special Vehicle Circuit DLC, which once again is arriving March 14th to Grand Theft Auto Online. If you did go on to enjoy this video or are hyped for the upcoming DLC, be sure to drop a like rating on it. That would be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.